Hey, how's everyone doing? I downscaled my monitor to 1920 by 1080 just so this would be easier to see, because I know in my other processing videos I was using my full monitor resolution, which is 3440 by 1440, and it's not really the best for recording a screen. So I downscaled it to 1920 by 1080 just so it's easier to watch and see what I'm doing. So we're going to be processing the Lagoon Nebula today. This is about 3 hours of data over the course of 2 nights. I've had awful weather this year. I have not really been able to do much of anything. So we're going to do the Lagoon Nebula here. Sorry, everything's different. Just do a stretch, auto stretch on this. I can see what I'm doing. Alright. Sorry, I had to move my processing icons over because they were like gone just because I changed the resolution of my monitor. Okay, so yeah, gonna open up screen transfer function and just, you know, do this so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm gonna run SPCC, which is a color calibration. And then I'm just gonna zoom in here and select, oops, wrong one, and select this, which is background, just somewhere where there's no stars. And then we're going to go into here and select our background preview, and then just let it do its thing. Alright, so that's all done. So we're going to kill that stretch, get rid of this preview. And now I'm just going to open up the histogram, open up a live preview, and everything is so screwed up from changing my monitor resolution. Anyway, go in here and just stretch out some of this. I'm going to put it probably about right there. And then there we go. Close that. Okay, so there we go. I'm just gonna save it here as one. Save it as a TIFF. 16-bit, no compression. Okay, so I'm gonna open Gray Expert here. Alright, so I'm gonna open that and reset the points just to show what I'm doing. Just come in here and right click on the points that you want to remove, and you want to remove them on the nebulae and keep them on the background. You can click and drag them around too. Alright, so next we're gonna hit calculate background, and there we go. Our gradient has been removed. Now we're just gonna save that. Now we have that opened in PixInsight. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the stars. Star Exterminator. Alright, stars have been separated from the nebula. Nebulae. There's 2 of them. Alright, so from all the other times I processed this image, I found what works best is to run Blur Exterminator on the stars while they're separated. Just because these ones here are just misshapen so awfully, which is what happens when you just use a regular telephoto lens and not an actual telescope. So that's, you know, my fault. Nothing I can really do about it. I just don't have a proper imaging telescope yet. I just use a 200 to 600 millimeter telephoto lens, which obviously does a good job, but it's not as good as it should be. I'm going to extract the luminance on the stars just so I can run this FWHM eccentricity, and I need to figure out what this median FWHM number is. Alright, so we have 4.42. Close that, open Blur Exterminator, put in 4.42 in the PSF diameter. Alright, so I'm going to turn this up going to turn this down. We're going to do that. So I'm going to open up curves, and I'm just going to brighten up the stars a little bit also. Okay. So next we're going to work with this. I'm going to open curves again, but for this instead. So we want to stretch that mofo. Bring out as much as we can without completely blowing out this core of the Lagoon Nebula. I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to rename the identifier for this as stars and rename the identifier for this as starless. So my recombine stars pixel math does what it's supposed to do. There they are, recombined. I'm going to close that, and I'm going to close that. I don't need them anymore. So we could probably bring this over a little more just to give it some more contrast. You just don't want to go over so far that you start to see this spiking here. See how it's spiking? That means you're clipping. And you don't want that. You wouldn't want to go that far anyway. It'd probably be too dark. So I'm going to go about right there. There we go. That adds some nice contrast. It still looks good. It's not too dark. So I'm going to run Blur Exterminator on the full image now, not just the stars. So I need to extract the luminance from this so I can run my FWHM eccentricity again. So we got 3.56. So let's open Blur Exterminator. 3.56. I'm going to turn that all the way down, the sharpen stars, because we already did that. And I'm just going to leave everything else the way it is. It looks good, especially in these like dark lanes here. There's before and after. Probably more of a difference over here. Yeah, especially like in these dark lanes in the Trifid Nebula. Definitely makes them a lot sharper. So now I'm going to run Noise Exterminator. As you can see, there's a lot of noise. There's just this graininess in the image. It's really not that bad. I had really good data. I think I was shooting right at my lowest read noise on my camera with the ISO. Or maybe like slightly above it. So like that was good. That was just clean data in general. But you can really see it here in this dark cloud on the Trifid. So we're going to run Noise Exterminator. I'm probably going to run it on like 0.75. Alright, so there's before and after. Much better, much better. Looks really nice and smooth. Probably not as noticeable over here, just because it's a brighter area. But yeah, that looks really nice. So now I'm going to open color saturation. And we're just gonna bring out some color in this image. You don't want to go too far like that. That looks awful. There we go. I like that. So there we go. We got some color. A lot more pleasing to look at. And there's one more thing I could do here, and that is dark structure enhance. And I'm going to turn that down to 0.3. Because sometimes it can be a little strong. That looks great. Yeah, there's a before and after. It's kind of subtle, but it's nice. It's more noticeable over here, I guess. Before and after. There is one more thing I'm gonna do with this. Actually, I'm gonna just reduce the stars with the easy processing suite with easy star reduction. So let's do that. Alright, easy star reduction is done. And now I would say that the image is finished. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I processed this image so many times now, just to see like if I'm missing something or if I can get it any better. But I don't think it's going to get any better with only 3 hours of data. Not really trying to get any more than that because the weather's been so awful. And there's way more targets than just these two out there that I'd rather just try and go after, just get new stuff. But I did just buy stuff for planetary imaging on a budget. I got an SV Bony telescope and a ZWO ASI 662MC planetary camera. And I'm going to put those on my Star Adventure and see what I can do with the planets, mainly Jupiter and Saturn, and the Moon, and see what's possible with a cheap SV Bony telescope and just a fairly basic ZWO planetary camera. So I'll probably make a video on that because I feel like that's something people would like to see. But yeah, as for this, that's it. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you around.